What's going on? It's Danny Rainmaker Dominguez, the Houston Realtor, coming at you with another hot one. All right. This one is for those that have been thinking, how can I get into real estate without money? That's a great question. And today I'm going to illustrate a strategy for you to get started into real estate. All right. Before we get started, always like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below if you have anything to add. Also, follow me on my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I'm on all of that. All right. So follow me. Now, let's get started. As I mentioned, are you curious or have you thought to yourself, man, I would love to get started into real estate, but I don't have any money? Well, do you have some time? If you do, then this strategy may work for you. All right. What strategy am I talking about? It's called wholesaling. What is wholesaling? Wholesaling essentially is you acquiring a contract from a seller of a property and assigning or selling that contract to an end buyer. That's simple. All right. So who would even want to buy a property like that? End buyers such as flippers, landlords, maybe even a retail buyer or a homeowner would like to buy that property. So there's many people who would want to buy that property. Okay. The point of you doing that is finding a deal. When you find a deal, you can sell it for a higher price. For example, if you find a deal that's $100,000 and its after repair value (ARV) is $250, then $250,000, then you can sell that property for 110, 120, maybe $130,000 to the end buyer. What will be your profit in between that? That $30,000 that you sell it at. So again, you get a property, $100,000, you sell it to an end buyer for $120,000. Your profit is $20,000. Very simple math. All right. So, number one step into getting into real estate wholesaling is educate yourself. All right. Number one step is educating yourself, because if you don't educate yourself, you won't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, and you're wasting your time and you're wasting possibly other people's time as well. All right. So you need to educate yourself, learn the lingo, learn the math, learn what a contract is, learn what a buyer is, learn what a deal is. Okay. You need to learn all of these things, and that takes education. That takes finding people who know what they're doing. That takes possibly getting mentorship. That takes possibly getting shadowing or shadowing someone who knows what they're doing. Maybe partnering with someone who knows what they're doing, finding resources online, finding courses, okay, reading books. All of these things are education that you need to do. That is your due diligence, okay? That will determine how much you really want it. If you really want it, you'll go and get the education. So that's the number one step. Educate yourself. All right. Here are some free resources that I use. Okay, there's so many of them, but here's a couple of them. Biggerpockets.com is a free resource, great resource. Propelio Academy is another great resource. Wealthfit.com is not a free resource, but it is a great resource. It's not very expensive. I think it's like $20 a month, something like that. It's not expensive. Those are great resources. Those are great starting points, but your education never stops. You're always learning. You always have to learn, because there's new strategies that come across, new ways of doing things, and it's the only way that you'll survive. Okay, you have to look at it from a business standpoint, and it's the only way that you'll survive. Now, to add to that, um, wholesaling may or may not be considered by many as investing. A lot of people consider it a short-term strategy. In my opinion, it's more like a business strategy, not a business model. I wouldn't, in my opinion, put my whole business around just wholesaling. I think it's just a branch in my real estate investing business. Nevertheless, you can still make a lot of money wholesaling, okay, if you know what you're doing. Okay, moving on. Step number two, find a motivated seller. All right. What is a motivated seller? A motivated seller is someone who needs to sell right now. All right. Why would they need to sell right now? Maybe they are in foreclosure. Okay. Maybe they need to sell because their home is going to get foreclosed. Maybe they need the money to pay medical bills. Maybe the home is in terrible damage. Maybe the home, maybe they need the money to pay off some type of bail or something of that nature. Okay. Maybe they would need to move because of a job. There's a lot of reasons why people need to sell. Okay. Your job in this strategy is to find those people that need to sell right now and get the property at a discount, at a deep discounted price. Okay, that's the only way you're going to make money in this strategy. Find it at a deep discount price so you can resell it at a higher price. That's it. All right. This is probably the most challenging part of this strategy. Finding the motivated seller. Again, there's cycles to the real estate market, so there's times where this strategy may work better than others. Right now, currently, as of July 2020, I don't know if this is the best strategy to go at it alone. You may need someone who knows what they're doing to kind of guide you with the strategy right now, because the market is more of a seller's market. So people don't really want to sell. There's not a lot of inventory out there. So for you to find a deal may take some time. Therefore, this might not be the one and only strategy you can use right now. That's why educating yourself is so important. Okay. So let's move on. Number three, determine if it's a buyer, if it's a deal. Okay, how do you determine if it's a deal? Let's say you come across a property, somebody wants to sell, you're all happy, you think that you got a deal. Well, how do you even know if it's a deal? The way you know if it's a deal is by running comps, comparables. Okay, doing a comparable market analysis on the market and on the area. What is a comparable, or what are comps? Comps are properties that have sold, okay, in the last technic typically you want to do 6 months, okay? You don't want to go further than 6 months because it gets kind of iffy after that. 6 months is really the golden standard. You want to go 6 months and you want to go with properties with similar square footage, similar lot size, and similar year built, okay? When you do that, you also want to look within a mile radius. You do farther than a mile, it could get a little iffy as well. You do less than a mile, you may not have enough data. All right, all about the data. That is how you find the ARV, which is the after repair value. Very important lingo. Learn that. After repair value (ARV) is what the property will be, or is the estimated worth of the property after it is fixed up. The way you determine that is by finding properties that have been fixed up and figuring out how much they sold for. So the way you find properties that have been sold is by going or using a realtor. That's the number one strategy. Why is that the number one strategy? Because they have access to the most accurate data. Okay, it's real time data, it gets updated by the minute. So they know to the penny what the sales price of the properties are. They can even break it down by square footage, by lot size, by year size. Okay, that's why it's super important for you to get together with a realtor who knows what they're doing, who has access to the MLS, because they'll be able to determine and help you figure out what the ARV and if it's a deal. Okay, not only that, they may be able to even find you some buyers, which is one of the steps further down on the list. Okay, get with a realtor, possibly partner up with them. Now, there's ways to do it. Okay, you don't want to just send them a list of properties to run comps for you. You want to do it as the last line of your uh, analysis. Okay, do your own due diligence. Try other sources. There are many free sources. You may need to. You can use Zillow.com, Realtor.com, all these other free sources. There's even paid sources that give you access to comps as well. Again, realtors are the gold standard. Use them, but don't overuse them and don't abuse them. All right. Okay, that's number three. Run comps. Number four, get the deal under contract. Sounds easy, may not be so easy when you are at the property. Okay, it takes some type of experience to feel comfortable with going to a property and meeting a person you've never met before and being confident that you're going to get them to sign. All right. It's not as easy as it sounds. If it was, everybody would be getting contracts signed and everybody would be making millions of dollars in real estate. It's not that easy. All right. You need to learn how to close. This takes experience, this takes education. You may need to get with somebody who knows how to close. You may need to bring them on you on an appointment and give them a percentage of the deal. Okay, that's a strategy that you can use. Find a way to get them to sign. All right, even if it takes you rehearsing, uh, a script the night before or practicing with someone, whatever. You need to figure out and learn strategies to get people to close. All right. So number four step is get the deal under contract. Five, last but not least, is sell the property for a finder's fee. All right. This probably may be one of the easiest steps in the whole thing, in my opinion. Why? Because if you have a deal, the money will come. I repeat, if you have a deal, the money will come. You don't need to really find and go out on a limb to find people in this market right now. If you have a deal, people will come. All right. So finding a buyer to sell the property to, it's not that hard. If it's a deal, you'll be able to find someone to purchase the property from you. The better the deal, the more money you'll make. The deeper the discount, the more money you will make because you can sell it at a higher price. All right. So with that being said, you know, uh, ways to find buyers, I guess I can tell you is realtors, like I just mentioned, social media. Um, there's ways to figure out who bought for cash when you look at properties or sold properties. Those people who bought for cash usually are investors. And if you are able to find their information, you can send them deals and they may be willing to buy that. Networking, there's many ways, okay? Not that hard. Again, worry about finding the deal first. After that, finding the buyer is super easy, all right? So, with that being said, my experience with this whole wholesaling thing has been, it was scary. It was, um, I used to work a 9 to 5, and I was working a 9 to 5 while I was educating myself. And one day I just said, let me do it. Let me take the risk. Let me take the chance. What do I have to lose? And it was May of 2017, I believe, that I decided to go out and start this journey. And I started out doing marketing. That's the way I did. I did some marketing. I paid for some marketing, and I want to say maybe a month or two later, after doing some marketing things of that nature, I went ahead and made and ended up cashing in or finding a deal actually, and then it took me maybe 1 or 2 months to close that deal, or a month or so to close that deal, and a month or 2 months after I started marketing, I made about $8,000, and I ended up printing that check here. This is my first wholesale check that I ever received when I first started wholesaling. Um, was $8,000. You can see right here my name. I didn't even have an LLC at the time. I just did it under my name, which is very dangerous. Highly suggest you get an LLC and do it that way instead of doing it under your own personal name. It will alleviate you of many, many risks legally. And I did it under my name. I didn't know what I was doing. Um, it was set for $8,000. That was the amount of money I received in my pocket after I sold it to an end buyer. And that was at the time. I've never received that much money all at one time at that time. That was my first. I've never seen $8,000 written out to me before that time. And I'm not showing this to show off or to um, you know, ring my own bell, I guess. I'm just showing this to let you guys know that it's very real. All right, this money is very real. People that you hear people that made 10, 20, 30,000. This is nothing compared to the amount of money people have made in wholesaling. Okay, for me, this was a lot of money at the time, and I made a lot of. This changed my life. Okay, let's just say that. I became let's say I believed at that time, the stories about real estate, and that made a believer out of me. And from that point on, it's history. Um, I can keep going about to what I did with that money. I was That was my first check. After that, I made uh, my second check. After that was around 5,000. The second check after that was around another 8,000. So roughly, I made around in little than 6 months. I made around 20,000, something like that, around 20,000 in 6 months. Never done it doing real estate ever. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Um, so yes, it's very real. You want to look at these things. People say real estate is a scam. Hey, I made money doing it. I make money today doing it. Been very rewarding for me, and it's been life changing for me. I mean, I've been able to build my wealth in ways that I've never thought I would be able to do it. Okay, all right, and I can go into my whole biography, but I won't go in it during this video. Um, I'll just say that if you want me to go into it, I may into it in another video. And real estate is real, man. Real estate is real. If you think real estate is expensive, now just wait. Okay, now is the time to get into it. Now is the time to start learning it because now real estate, you're gonna look back and say, man, I should have got into real estate. It's only gonna get more expensive. All right. So with that being said, if you have any questions or anything that you need me to help you with, let me know. Be more than happy to help. If you have any deals you want to sell, hey, shoot them my way. I'll be more than happy to pay for those deals. Anybody who's looking to buy or sell or invest or lease real estate, let me know. Okay, let me know. Even if it's not in Houston, Texas, I am pretty sure I can help you and find somebody who can help you. All right. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.